How possible is it to pull off a decent animation in a short time, you may ask? Well, allow me to answer that. In this video, I'll be animating Dragon Balls in 1 second, 10 seconds, 1 minute, 10 minutes, and 1 hour.
Oh, great holy wrath! Smite the wicked!
Anyways, you get the idea. It's time to open up Flip a Clip and get to animate. I'll open up Flip a Clip and create a new project for the 1 second attempt. Now, remember guys, you can't pull off anything in a second except your animations. I was able to draw this weirdly shaped Stickman in 1 second. I don't think this counts as an animation, but it does look like Goku taking the pose. Depends on how you look at it. In 10 seconds, I guess I can at least make my drawing move. Let's see if I can get to frames in. I turned on the onion skin and drew just to frames. Turns out I'm not the Flash and it's almost impossible to animate a full body Stickman in 10 seconds. This just looks like he's tweaking. Finally, I've gotten a more decent time. 1 minute is enough time to make a simple animation. I'll try to animate a Stickman doing the Kamehameha blast. Since I'm animating on 12 frames per second, all I need to pull this off is just a couple of frames. I'll also copy and paste the last frame, moving it slightly to give the shaky effect. Since it's a blast, there has to be some form of recoil. With my last few seconds, I animated the blast. I decided to use white as its color. I then added the shaky effect to the Stickman. With this, I was done. What are you guys rating this one? Let me know in the comments. Personally, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. For a 1 minute animation, it's quite alright. I added in a background I drew previously on another layer and got to work immediately. I figured the background would give more life to the animation, so I went with this desert type background. 10 minutes might sound like a lot, but if you've ever tried animating, you'd understand how little it is. The idea is to animate a Stickman charging up and then blasting, just like we've seen previously. But since I have 10 minutes, I can make the animation smoother and use better frames per second. After animating the Stickman making the moves, I added in the heads on a separate layer. I finally had time to give him a decent looking stick head. Around this time, I had just about 5 minutes left, so I had to rush the animation. I used the lasso tool to move the Stickman slightly each frame to give the shaky effect. I also did the same thing to the background. When my time was almost up and I had only 3 minutes left, I decided to lock in and finish up with the blast effect. Since I only have about 5 blast frames, I'll animate the blast effect on them and I'll loop it to make the animation longer. After I finished with that, I went back to duplicate some frames. Since I'm animating on 24 frames per second and I wanted to animate using 1s, 2s, and 3s, I then turned on the glow effect, although it's quite unnoticeable since the background sky is also blue. I cleaned up the animation, and with my final minute passing, I figured the animation could look a lot better if I added the whooshing breeze effect. Doing this took me about 1 minute and a whole lot of rushing, but eventually I was able to pull through. With about 50 seconds left, I rushed to duplicate the blast frames and loop them. To be honest, I think I kinda outdid myself with this 10-minute attempt. It's not enough time, but I surprised myself with this one. The final seconds were used for the cleanup, mostly parts where I mistakenly drew on. Eventually my time was up and this was the result. I think I'm giving this one a solid 7 out of 10. One hour is decent time, but I wanted to challenge myself even further. I realized I could make this even more challenging if I added Goku's clothes to the stick figure. Time to lock in and get to animating. As always, first, I'll animate him doing the moves. Since it's a blast, I'll animate him charging up in anticipation. Then I'll animate him blasting out. For this animation, I'll use 3 cuts. 20 minutes in, I had already finished the base animation, but before I could animate the clothes, I had to add heads to the stickman first. After adding the heads, I drew in a mountain rock type background and pasted it in each frame. To be honest, I was surprised to have made it this far in a short time. I think I'll be able to animate the clothes with this much time left. On a separate layer, I began animating Goku's clothes. I had in mind to spend about 20 to 25 minutes animating clothes, so I'd be left with enough time to animate the blast effect. I checked my time and realized I had already spent more than 20 minutes animating the clothes. I had to put a pause on that to animate the blast. I mean, what good is the animation if I don't even animate the main thing? I went wild with this blast animation. I wanted it to be very huge and eventually thin out at the end. I also added the shaky effect so it shows the intensity of the blast. After animating the blast, I realized I had a little amount of time left and it seemed to be just enough for me to finish up the clothes animation at this part, so I went for it. After animating the clothes, I had a little bit of time left, and it seemed enough to animate sparks flying out the stick figure's hands during the blast. After animating the sparks, my time was pretty much over. For the 1-hour attempt, I'll need you guys to rate this one in the comments. According to my analytics, a whole lot of you guys watching the videos aren't subscribed. Well, I have a goal to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Help me get one step closer to the goal by smashing the subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Now back to the video. Well guys, that's all for this video. Spank the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I'll see you in another video.